Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. According to ESPN, Manchester United have rejected several loan offers for Donny van de Beek. We've blocked him from leaving in this January transfer window. Solskjaer was talking about Donny van de Beek a few weeks ago, and he insists that he has a bright future at Manchester United, and he tips him to emulate Fred and Lindelof by succeeding at the club. Donny van de Beek seldom starts in the Premier League. He's only started 2 games in the league, and that was against Southampton and West Ham. Most of his appearances have come from the bench. I think he's made around 21 appearances since he come in. Ronald de Boer, not so long ago, urged Donny van de Beek to leave Man United to boost his chances for the Euros. Edwin van der Sar, the Ajax CEO, he was talking about Donny van de Beek recently. He said he spoke to people at Man United about Donny van de Beek. And he says Man United remain confident that Donny van de Beek will be a success at Old Trafford. And Edwin van der Sar also mentioned that he's been showing fantastic attitude in training, despite his lack of game time. But I think he needs to be given more opportunities, because when he plays, he puts good performances out. He can play in like 3 different roles. You can put him as a box-to-box midfielder. That was his predominant position at Ajax. You can put him as a number 10. And you can also put him out wide. We got him last summer from Ajax. We got him in a deal worth £40 million. We paid £35 million up front, and there was £5 million in add-ons. He signed a 5-year contract with the club, so he's under contract with Man United until 2025. At the beginning of this month, I think it was, there were sources in Italy saying that Inter Milan are willing to take Donny van de Beek on loan. So that is the breaking news on him. Now I want to give you some news on Amad Diallo Traore. So Amad Diallo Traore could be handed his debut against Liverpool in the FA Cup on Sunday. Solskjaer said not so long ago that Amad Diallo Traore could be part of the first team squad in the next few weeks. We got him in a deal worth £37 million with add-ons included. We paid around £19 million up front. Amad Diallo Traore to Man United was official earlier on this month, but the deal was actually agreed last October. And I'm sure that Facundo Pellistri at some point will get his chances in the first team. Don't forget, not so long ago, he had COVID. Now I want to delve into some news on Jesse Lingard. According to recent reports, Jesse Lingard has been cut core from the Man United squad. Diallo Traore has actually taken his place. Jesse Lingard's been heavily linked with a move away from the football club. Now, it recently said that Tottenham are interested in him. One report said they're not interested in him, no. He was linked to a move to Tottenham last year. It said not so long ago from Sky Sports that Nice were talking with Jesse Lingard's representatives regarding a loan move, but then it mentioned that Nice are no longer interested. Sheffield United have also been in for Lingard. Aston Villa have been in for Lingard. West Ham not so long ago were in negotiations with his agent. It said towards the end of last year that Real Sociedad were talking with his agent, and Celtic and Rangers have been in for him. I think it recently said that Solskjaer's in disagreement over Jesse Lingard's future. I heard that he actually said, Solskjaer, that he wants Lingard to stay this month, despite Lingard losing his place in the team a while ago. But Lingard has been part of the club for several years, as he got just under 6 months now left on his current contract. So that's the breaking news on him. But certainly more players are going to leave Manchester United this year. I think Phil Jones will leave this year. This is what Phil Jones' 10th season at Man United. He has been a long servant at the club. He has been with us since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. But he's always been inconsistent as Jones. Modena Gallo, I think he'll leave. His loan expires at the end of this month. He seldom plays now, but to Modena Gallo's credit, he was our top goal scorer in the FA Cup last season. The main explanation we recommended him in on deadline day in January last year was to get a cover up for Rashford, because at the time Marcus Rashford was out with that back injury. There's obviously been rumours of Daniel James going out on loan, because Daniel James has actually lost his place in the team. We got him in a deal worth, £18 million from Swansea back in June 2019. There's been obviously rumours of Brandon Williams going out on loan, but apparently we've rejected loan offers for Brandon Williams. It said earlier on this month, this was from Shield Gazette, however you call it, if I pronounce it correctly. It said that Newcastle had agreed a deal in principle to get Brandon Williams on loan. It also said that Southampton wanted him on loan, because he is now our third choice left back following the arrival of Alex Telles, and Brandon Williams seldom plays now. He did play a lot of games last season, but the main explanation for that is because Luke Shaw had a couple of periods out with injury. During the summer, was it, Brandon Williams signed a 4-year contract at Man United, and was it at the start of this season we give him that number 33 shirt? I think it also, we've rejected a loan offer for Axel Tuanzebe. Solskjaer has confirmed that Sergio Romero and Marcus Rojo are free to leave in this January window, because he said that their contracts won't be extended. We did recently see Timothy Fosu-Mensah leave the club. He joined Bayer Leverkusen. But yeah, Solskjaer admitted that there could be further more departures in this January window. He said prior to the game against Fulham that 1 or 2 more players could leave. So we actually are focusing on the outgoings in this January window rather than the incomings, because Solskjaer gave us an update on our January transfer plans earlier on in this window, and he did mention that January signings are unlikely. Sky Sports recently said that Solskjaer says signings are long term, not a quick fix. But I think we are looking to make around 4 signings this year to complete our squad overhaul. So we'll obviously be looking to make signings in the summer. This January transfer window is nearly shut now. this is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 5th transfer window as Man United manager. And I've got to say, I think the transfer windows he has endured so far, he hasn't really been backed enough because we have missed out on his priority targets, especially last summer. But Woodward promised Solskjaer, that he will back him. When Solskjaer, was under pressure, Ed Woodward still assured that his job is safe because, like I've mentioned before, our board have a soft stance on Solskjaer. With him being a club legend. I said they'd obviously be more ruthless on Solskjaer if he wasn't a club legend. That's obviously when we was having bad periods. Woodward did say towards the end of last year that we will back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with a long-term plan centred around summer transfer windows. But, Solskjaer recently said that our fine form justifies the club's support. So what it means in that aspect is that, the backing he has received recently, that's played a part in our good vein of form. But Woodward's been at the club since 2012. And we've had the Glazers at the football club since 2005. But a lot of United fans have been demanding the board out for several years. I've already given you the main explanations why. Because the club in, general have made mistakes since Ferguson left, and that's obviously why we had been so inconsistent for long. But, there is a lot of players on our agenda. Earlier on today, I give you the news on Diallo Upamecano from RB Leipzig. Builds Christian Fark give us an update on the Diallo Upamecano transfer saga. He actually is quite reliable. It mentions that Bayern Munich are leading the race for him. Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, the Bayern Munich CEO, has confirmed Bayern Munich's interest. I think Bayern Munich want him for a lower fee than his actual release clause. His £37 million, or is it £38 million release clause, becomes active at the end of the season. So like I said to you this morning, Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea, City face a transfer battle with Real Madrid in the race to sign Upamecano. The RB Leipzig CEO said quite a few weeks ago that we will sell our top performers again if that makes financial sense. And Upamecano confirmed that he will be leaving. He's been at RB Leipzig now for over 3 years. He's got a contract with them till 2023. Signed that contract last year. That's obviously when his release clause come into the equation. Leipzig paid around €10 million for him from Red Bull Salzburg. So yeah, I said I'm very, very sceptical that Man United will get him in. He's obviously a centre-half. You know the news on Christian Eriksen from Inter Milan. Duncan Castle's recently come out and said that Man United have made a 6-month loan offer for Christian Eriksen. But he said the deal has been held up because we've offered 40% less of his wages. And Ian McGarry, speaking to the Transfer Window podcast, said that Christian Eriksen is getting closer and closer to leaving Inter Milan. He's unhappy at Inter Milan. He's been at Inter Milan for a year now. Inter Milan got him for around £17 million from Tottenham in January of last year, and he's under contract with Inter Milan until 2024. He's predominantly an attacking midfielder, but he can also be deployed as a box-to-box midfielder. He's 28 years of age, so he's highly experienced. He's obviously well proven in the Premier League because he did endure 7 years with Tottenham. Before he was at Tottenham, he was at Ajax and was interested in Christian Eriksen when he was at Ajax. There's also been narrative saying that you know, Inter Milan have been considering a swap deal with Arsenal, you know, involving Eriksen and Lucas Torreira, I think it was. And there's also been talks about Christian Eriksen possibly going back to Tottenham. But yeah, I'm very, very sceptical that Christian Eriksen will come to Man United. You know the news on Erling Haaland. You know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would love to sign Erling Haaland. I think he was disappointed, Solskjaer, when he missed out on Erling Haaland last year. Because, you know, Erling Haaland would have been an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer type sign. You know, Solskjaer knows the player well. Solskjaer was the one that gave him his debut at the age of 16 at Molde. And back in 2019, Solskjaer and Woodward went to Norway to meet up with Haaland to negotiate a move to Man United. Erling Haaland's father, Alf Hinch Haaland, has spoken about his transfer links to Man United. I think he said he wanted to go to Madrid. Chelsea are obviously looking to get him early. That was stemming from the Athletic recently. Dortmund got him in January last year. Dortmund got him for just over £17 million, and he has got a contract with Dortmund until 2024. And you already know the news on Jadon Sancho. I'm very, very sceptical he'll leave Dortmund in this January window, but Raphael Hoggenstein said it's possible he could leave, but it is unlikely. And you also know the news on Declan Rice. But I've given you the 3 areas where Man United need to strengthen up. Now, I think we need a world-class striker, we need a world-class midfielder, and we also need a centre-half. So there you go. There's a good chance Man United will win the Premier League this season. We are top at the moment. If we do win the Premier League, it will be our first Premier League title since 2013, and it will be our 21st title overall. If we won the league this season, then certainly Solskjaer would be the long-term manager, and it would be a remarkable achievement. But, you know, there's a few teams in this title race. You wouldn't have thought we'd have been in this position, you know, of how poor we was at the start of the season. We was very, very critical of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at the start of this season. A lot of Man United fans have been critical of him in the 2 years or so he's been here, because we've enjoyed bad periods under him. And I was certainly Ollie out earlier on in the season, but with how good we have been in recent months, my perception has slowly started to change on him. But we do deserve a lot of credit for sticking with Solskjaer, because Solskjaer could have easily have been sacked as Man United manager. But I think Solskjaer himself deserves credit, you know, for the progress that he has made in the last year or so. Don't forget, we are unbeaten in our last 17 Premier League away games. We equalled that record from the 98-99 season. If we do beat Arsenal at the end of this month, we will have broken that record. So we haven't lost away from home in the Premier League for just over a year. I think we are unbeaten in our last, 12, 13 Premier League games. We haven't lost in the league since that 1-0 defeat to Arsenal back in November. And I just think, you know, like, performances have improved. Certain players have also improved. But I think the likes, you know, of Bruno Fernandes has made the difference in the team since he's come in. Edinson Cavani, he's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Man United career. You know, Paul Pogba's in a good vein of form now. So maybe they are the 3 players, you know, that could help us to win the title this season. Well, actually, Ray Rooney believes this because Ray Rooney's been talking and he says, Man United can go all the way this season. And he mentioned them 3 players could play a big part in us, winning the league. But there is 3 trophies that Solskjaer could. There's 3 trophies we can pursue this season. We can win the Premier League, we can win the FA Cup, and we can also win the Europa League. It's very imperative that we get our first trophy on the board under Solskjaer. We haven't won a trophy now for just over 4 years. I think Solskjaer is on course to earn himself a new contract, reflecting on the progress he's made. Solskjaer's more than halfway through his 3-year deal. Despite our reluctance to back Solskjaer, I still think he has made good signings as Man United manager. He has spent over £200 million at the club. In the summer of 2019, he brought Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January last year, he brought Bruno Fernandes in and Odi Nagalo in on loan. And in the summer transfer window of last year, he brought Van der Beek in, Alex Telles, Edison Cavani, Facundo Palestre and Amad Diallo Traore. And I do like the way Solskjaer's promoted the youth. The young players have been given their chances. When Solskjaer got appointed in, he said that everybody would get their chances to express themselves, including the young players. And Solskjaer's brought more young players into the club. And we've obviously seen a lot of players leave the club since he got recommended in. Earlier on this season, Solskjaer got us to the EFL Cup semi-final. Obviously, we lost that game to Manchester City 2-0. It was disappointing, but Man City are a good team. They're back in the title race now. A lot of people are favouring City to win the league, and they're very good in the EFL Cup because they have won it for the last 3 seasons. And City have now reached their 4th consecutive League Cup final. Solskjaer did well last season in his first full season, got us qualification for the Champions League, got us 3rd, and he guided us to 3 semi-finals. So yeah, lots and lots of positives to take, especially with how good we have now been in recent months. This is Solskjaer's 2nd full season as Man United manager. I said this season he's got to exceed his expectations if he is to remain Man United manager. And certainly at the moment he's exceeding his expectations. Well, should I say more than exceeding his expectations. Reflecting how long Solskjaer's been at the club, he's gained some managerial experience. Man United is the 3rd club in his managerial career. He's learned quite a bit on the job. Probably there's still things he has got to learn. He's managed over 100 games as Man United manager in all competitions. But he certainly is bringing the old Man United back. And like I mentioned earlier on, we are the comeback kings of the Premier League. And that's certainly been proven this season because we have come from behind in a lot of games. We came from behind a lot under the Sir Alex Ferguson era. And like I've said to Solskjaer's obviously not going to replicate Ferguson's legacy. No manager at Man United or no manager in general is going to replicate Ferguson's legacy. Ferguson endured 27 years at the club. He won a total of 38 major honours, including 13 Premier League titles. But he didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Man United. But we are certainly doing well now under Ole. Don't forget, Solskjaer is our 4th permanent manager since the Ferguson era. We've sacked 3 managers since Ferguson. That was Moyes, Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. And we're not even really known as a sacking football club. We've overpaid for players in recent years as well. Paid 89 million for Pogba, 80 million for Maguire, 75 million for Lukaku back in 2017. We paid, 60 million for Di Maria back under Louis van Gaal era. Got Bissaka in a deal worth 50 million. Paid quite a bit for Bruno Fernandes. And we've spent over £1 billion on players since Sir Alex Ferguson retired. And we've brought around 36-37 players in since Fergie left. But Solskjaer knew when he took over at Man United, it was a massive job. And he knew he had a lot to do. He obviously knew that he had to make the right signings, to get us where we want to be. And like I've said, he hasn't got all the players that he's wanted in, but he's still made good signings. Obviously, Solskjaer knew, he had to get rid of the deadwood, and he has got rid of some of the deadwood to his credit. There's obviously more deadwood he's going to get rid of this year. But like I said, when Solskjaer got appointed in, he was inheriting a lot of deadwood. The vast majority of this team is Jose Mourinho's. There's only, a few players here now from Louis van Gaal era. There's only one player here from the Moyes era, and there's only 2 players here from the Sir Alex Ferguson era. There is a lot of players we will keep at Manchester United. We'll obviously keep more than sell. We'll obviously keep Marcus Rashford. We'll keep Fernandes. We'll keep Greenwood. We'll keep Cavani for at least this season. He'll probably see out his contract, Cavani, to be quite honest with you. Where we'll keep Donny van de Beek for now. Will he possibly leave in the summer? If he's not getting the chances that, he should be getting. We'll keep Fred. Like I said, Paul Pogba now could stay at Man United, potentially past the summer, because it recently said that he is considering a U-turn. Will Paul Pogba actually sign a new contract at Man United? Don't forget, he contradicts Mino Raiola for the second time. Luke Shaw will certainly keep him because he's really improved under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. We're obviously going to keep Harry Maguire because he's also really improved as well. We'll keep Lindelof, despite me having reservations about him. I think we'll keep Bay. Don't know how long for, but for at least probably the next couple of seasons. Bay's done very, very well since he started playing again. My only element of concern about Bay is that he's injury prone. We'll obviously keep Wan-Bissaka. By the way, Solskjaer described Wan-Bissaka as one of the best. One against one defensive fullback. He said that in his press conference building up to this game against Liverpool. Defensively, he's superb. My only concern about him, though, is his lack of attacking intent and his distribution. We'll certainly keep David De Gea because, like I've said, David De Gea, he's getting back to his best. David De Gea is going to remain our number one for at least this season. This is David De Gea's 10th season at Man United, so he has been a long servant. David De Gea has made over 500 appearances for the club in all competitions. We'll also keep Dean Henderson. And I think at some point Dean Henderson will become our number one. He's reliable now. He's got that experience behind him. And I think he's played well in the games he's played in this season. We'll obviously keep Alex Telles. Alex Telles hasn't played as much though as he expected. But there again he did have COVID. But actually Luke Shaw still remains our first choice left back despite the arrival of Alex Telles. Martial, we'll keep him for now. There is a lot of United fans saying that Martial needs to be dropped because he has been out of form for the vast majority of this season. He hasn't really been clinical enough in front of goal, Anthony Martial. So there you go. So we're going to keep a lot of players, like I said. The news on Juan Mata. Solskjaer admits that Juan Mata's future at Man United is uncertain. He says Juan Mata's closing in on his Man United exit after Solskjaer's recent admission. But we shall see. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless you all again very, very soon.